Oh man, this seawater sounds like a breeze, man. Yeah, it kind of reminds me like we're in Imagination in the beach. Hey everybody, this is me, Sylvester here. And I'm Chip here, we're back for the Maxi Toys. And welcome back to my Let's Play of New Super Mario Bros. U from the Nintendo Wii U. So last time that we actually did finish up Layer Cake Desert, and today for this video, is that we're about to be moving on to the third world in the game we're about to be entering, is Sparkling Waters, which is essentially a tropical theme level. And yeah, the Miiverse is posting saying, yay! Just like how it does in Web Fluttershy says in Sonic Rainboom episode. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, as far as Sparkling Waters is concerned, there's not a lot of sand this time around, though. Instead, we actually have, let's just say quite a lot of water involved this time around. So anyway, though. So here we go with, the first level in Sparkling Waters, Sparkling Waters-1, Water Spout Beach. As you expected, I believe, just like how it does in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, if I remember rightly, although I may be wrong about that. But here we have ourselves some water spouts now, so even then though, we can actually just, hop into these, even though I think, if I do recall correctly, that, I'm pretty sure that these things do, I forget. So yeah, it's been a bit of a lacking when it comes to dialogue, and also the dialogue ourselves is quite cheesy for this today, because obviously, there's not much we can say about this particular episode for this part. Well, besides the point that originally that, again, Piglet were about to be doing Sonic Rivals 2 at the time, but unfortunately, he needs to actually have to wait until when, he was trying to fix up with this little technical issues, mainly the editing software has been in significantly glitches and all that kinds of stuff. More likely, too many yellow exclamation marks every once in a while, and also some couple of evidence on like we haven't exactly finished the project for that just yet. But, for the most part though, that I think unfortunately that Sonic Rivals 2 continuation LP will be slightly delayed until when, Piglet actually fixes the video processing. Like, even then he already done 2 parts of the playthrough so far, but even then though, that he needs to actually do, part 3, and then also part 4 might take some time for him to actually just incorporate with the, you know, the editing style of software and all that kinds of shenanigans is going to happen. But I digress. Anyway, so this level's pretty simple and easy. It's gonna have to like go through these occasional water spouts and everything like this in this level. So it's pretty easy though for the most part. And before we actually get into the next level, we actually have ourselves a Napper to catch. The second Napper to actually catch in this game. And he was actually located in Layer Cake Desert in level 6 in Layer Cake Desert-6, which I believe is Blooming Lakitus, which I believe we're gonna have to use our Starman for this particular Napper chase, because there are quite a few enemies around in that particular level, so that even then though, you can actually breathe for this Napper chasing sequence quite literally fast, especially noticeable like some situations like this. So even then though, we actually did catch him from under, like, or in this case just 5 seconds, or even under 20 seconds. So do we get a notification? What? How come this notification does not pop up? Oh, come on. Really? Oh, whatever. It's nothing worth knowing from posting the Miiverse supports and all that kinds of stuff. So, as I mentioned before, that once you actually complete the Layer Cake Desert world, you actually get into those little forks in the road, which actually leads you to either the Frosty Glacier or, in this case, Sparkling Waters. Okay, here we go. Tropical Refresher from Sparkling Waters-2 Tropical Refresher. For what I can tell from this level here, we're gonna have to swim underwater while involving these Cheep Jeeps and some little sea creatures. Which I can figure at this point until now, so even then you probably should know by this at this point, because even then we actually been into the first ever water level since World 1 in this case Acorn Plains secret level, Blooper secret layer, so even then that we can actually just pretty much guarantee that we can actually just expected to see this. So another thing is worth mentioning for certain things throughout this particular playthrough, folks, is the fact that now, I'm really excited until when some new footage, I was super excited in the past few days, because usually that we saw a bunch of new footage on Mario Party Star Rush thanks to Netandan, who actually just uploaded these types of clips into the new stuff of Mario Party Star Rush, which he actually shows us the brief footage of Toad Scramble, which is pretty self-explanatory, and Coin Olivian, which I think I remember that spelling correctly. And as well as that, though, we actually have ourselves at last the footage of the Balloon Bash mode. Granted, though, that we already seen the Balloon Bash footage of it already, thanks to the Japanese website of Mario Party Star Rush. Even then, that we've seen quite a few footages on the Mario Party Star Rush so far. That the first one was obviously we saw like recently, which was Nintendan. Which, if you follow into this YouTube channel, I'll probably put in links in the description of the video so you can see what his YouTube video is all about. Or in this case, the footage of Mario Party Star Rush looks like, if you actually be curious to actually just a brief look at the game. And also that they actually showcase these bunch of quite a few clips in certain mini games and some certain modes in the Japanese website, which I found is kind of cool, to say much for that. So for the most part, though, I'm still pretty excited with Mario Party Star Rush, even though I was pretty sad that how it does not feature online, just like how it does in Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games on the Wii U, because even then, though, that if it has a Wii U online compatibility in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic game, that would makes it more entertaining, but sadly that's not the case, which is a bit of a disappointment, really. But, as well as that, though, I'm pretty sure that, since Nintendo NX will be getting closer at this point until when it gets to 2017, as far as no wait for longer until then, although you have to wait until a couple of months' time before they'll actually reveals the design until when it gets to likely E3 2017 or something, or probably the, upcoming events for Nintendo NX. So even then, though, that we pretty much expected to see what, how we can wait until we actually see how, Nintendo NX final design works. Although, from what I understand, that I heard a lot of, humors about the Nintendo NX, that apparently one of the controllers, especially the handheld device of the Nintendo NX, might actually feature some of the two attachment, buttons, and especially the analog sticks or something like this. But even then, I might be wrong about that, but anyway. We'll talk more into these types of news until we get to later. Well, there's no point for getting those bunch of 1-ups at the moment, because even then we'll get a whole lot of 1-ups until when we actually get into the later levels, so to speak. So, yeah, even though I kind of realized that, you probably noticed my voice is actually a bit different, well, basically, yeah. Giant Spike Pillar Tower in Sparkling Waters Tower. And we're going to be doing with the third Boom Boom fight as soon as we actually make our way to the Boom Boom. So for this particular level's gimmick is the fact that we're going to have to scale for those little types of levels where you're going to have to dodge those spike pillars, which spike pillars are returning from the previous entries, as you guys should probably already notice at this point in time. Especially noticeable if you play the previous New Super Mario Bros. Games at this point. But even then, though, this time around, though, although it kind of reminds me of something almost related to, like, the Level 3-Castle from New Super Mario Bros. The original for the DS, and I'm pretty sure World 4 Castle from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but there are quite a lot of, like, out of service, and probably, a bit of a less underwater segments, but in this game that we actually get ourselves heavily influenced the underwater segments for this point in time, so yeah, there's not much we can discuss about this level, just basically we have to dodge those spike pillars as much as we can, so yeah, there's all that kinds of stuff how this is going on, so yeah, let's just say that much. I don't know what's in over here though, well besides the red pipe over there, I believe that's the only part that we haven't sort of encountered on our own time when we actually first got the game back in 2012 alongside with our bundle with the Wii U. Well, unfortunately we only have is just the 8GB version of the Wii U rather than just a premium pack of the 32GB version. Although it will be nice though to actually have that edition, but it usually comes with Nintendo Land as far as the bundle of the game itself. Excuse me. So yeah, you probably noticed that my voice is actually a bit different this time. It's because, well, I recently felt quite a bit rough around the edges though. It's mostly because I just had a pretty tingling throat, as well as another, I just had a horrendous cough at the moment, which hopefully we should be feeling quite better until at this point in time, as far as we can consider that. But yeah, I do apologize for that little cough noise in the background, so I really do apologize, even though it was a bit obnoxious to actually feel ill when you're actually just doing a Let's Play like this. So anyway. Alright, here we go with the third variation of the Boom Boom battle, and basically what Kamek's spell he can actually cast for Boom Boom to actually pull off this time around is he actually jumps higher. Nothing remarkably challenging or anything like that, he's pathetically simple and easy, just like the previous Boom Boom battles. Yeah, I know, right? So I'm quite surprised though, that since today was actually the 24th of September at this point, that right now, or before we talk more into that, this is what happens if you actually complete yourselves, depends on what level or world you're in, like you get yourselves Frosty Glacier or Sparkling Waters. If you actually complete one of the tower levels, you get yourselves this cutscene right here where everything else is getting smoked out, or in this case covered in smoke at the point. Why, thanks to this little Bowser's scheme of things. Although mostly for the Kamek spell most likely, so we need to investigate that until we actually make our way to here. So yeah, as far as we can tell, that this world map in variation of New Super Mario Bros. U, as I mentioned this earlier, this might actually be the longest journey that Mario's and Luigi and Yellow Toad and Blue Toad will actually come across. So anyway, here we go with Sparkling Waters Ghost House Haunted Shipwrecked. Or in this case, Haunted Shipwreck. So, just like how it does in the previous New Super Mario Bros. Games, that we can actually explore one of the ghost houses, and as usual, ghost houses do make a comeback for this game, and I think that just as more, quite as puzzly as it does it for New Super Mario Bros. Wii, New Super Mario Bros. 2. Well, granted though, in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and also New Super Mario Bros. On the DS as well, if you want to include that. So, you know what I found is really odd though, is the fact that, that since in New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, that the amount of, ghost houses you might actually encounter was actually more likely, 4 ghost houses. And then I believe in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that you actually encountered, like, I'm pretty sure, the exact same, like, ghost house, the amounts of ghost houses, likely 4 of them. And I'm pretty sure that, in New Super Mario Bros. 2, that the New Super Mario Bros. 2 is the only New Super Mario Bros. Game to actually feature, likely, too many ghost houses. But I'm pretty sure in this game, that I'm pretty sure if I remember this correctly or not, but I'm pretty sure it actually contains, once again, 4 ghost houses. Spoiler alert. In case if you probably already noticed it if you actually play this game during in time. Especially consists of how this game was almost 4 years old at that time. Especially we actually just watched the trailer for this game when it actually adds some new stuff to the table in this game back in more likely let's just say 4 years ago at this point in time. So anyway, and as you can see right here, we actually come across into a secret exit, and I believe this also the same likes of how it does it in the other ghost house levels as well. Which, if I remember rightly, that might be true though, so incredible. Congratulations on this suit, you're a super player. Why, thank you very much, Notification, who actually just comments on us. And once you actually find yourselves a secret exit in that particular level, it will actually lead you to a secret level in Sparkling Waters. But we'll get into that in a minute, because we are about to go back to this level right here and actually encounter the normal exit now. So yeah, as usual, just like any other ghost house levels in any New Super Mario Bros. Game at this point, that we're actually gonna come across into more likely the both exits in the ghost house levels. But what's different between the other ghost house themes is the fact that if you actually come across into more likely the normal exit and especially the secret exit in this particular New Super Mario Bros. U game, you actually come across into a different background environment. Like, if you can tell, the secret exit you find in any ghost house level was actually in a foggy type of visual standpoint. And I'm assuming if you're actually going to find yourselves a normal exit, if we're actually going to find ourselves all the way there, like, we'll talk more into those until we actually get into these. So, Yeah, and one more thing I have to point out is that my throat is actually a bit dried up at points, so there's gonna be a lot of emphasis on awkward dialogue here, folks. This is basically the... Well, there's not much we can just, talk about, besides, unfortunately, though, for Sonic Rivals 2 playthrough at this point, as far as this point in time, then it'll just probably gonna have to delay for a continuation, or anything like that. God damn it, a fake door! Why is a fake door always happens? Well, usually the real door is actually up there, wait for that invisible hiding wall over there, so even then, you're gonna have to check every single, hiding walls and stuff. So yeah, this is the normal exit right here, and then basically it'll just actually allows you to see the entirety of the haunted themed level in the background, and as you can tell already, that there's actually a really cool haunted shipwrecked model right there in the background, which I found is really, really impressive for the Wii U title. You've completed the course in 100 seconds or less. Why, thank you. Well, usually we actually just beat this level fast enough, so there you go then. Let's just say, we'll just do one more level. We're going from a particular order as we mentioned. So, anyway, before we actually get into the actual level... Oh, to me first posts, finally. Oh, good for you, because even then, might give you some trouble at first glance, but anyway. So the enemy course in this particular level is Cheep Cheeps. Rather than Cheep Chomps, unlike how it does in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but instead it's Cheep Cheeps. So it can be a little bit of a pace breaker at some points, because occasionally moments where Cheep Cheeps can constantly just try to avoid you, or in this case they actually pop out randomized or something like that. Oh wow, we got another Starman right here. I think probably the Starman will have to be the popular item of our item inventory at this point. But even then though, we might actually use one eventually until we actually get into the latest levels in Pharrell. And there's actually another red baby Yoshi onto the center of this little island. And yeah, the Koopaling for this world is Larry Koopa, just to say that much. So here we go with Sparkling Water Sub-3, which was known as, assumingly if we're actually just trying to actually access to it, this is called Above the Cheep Cheep Seas. Which, from this level technical standpoint, is that we actually come across into Cheep Cheeps, and as well as some occasional scaling platforms every once in a while. And also worth knowing for is that this is a level that we actually come across into. Not only that we actually get ourselves a continuous Starman, as you can tell right now, like even then we're getting quite a load Starman going on until at this point. I think this is actually a good recommendation if you're actually trying to equip that power up per se, because even then, that if you're actually trying to noticeable notice, is the fact that this level is actually filled with Cheep Cheeps. And even then though, you can actually breeze for this level if you're actually constantly getting yourself Starman for this level right here. And even then though, I think it's easily a recommendation if you're actually trying to actually get yourself a spare Starman, if you're actually trying to come across into one of those. And even then though, that it kind of reminds me of related to more likely level 2-3 from the original Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System. But except the noticeable difference is that we actually have ourselves a water Kaisers, including the, or for that matter, spouted water, or water spouts, if you want to prefer calling that, but anyway. But the occasional annoying moments where I found myself just actually getting hit by green, in this case some Cheep Cheeps a lot, especially in this case right here. But even then though, these placements can pop out of nowhere sometimes, but usually that's often my part for that case. And the reason why we need to keep Yoshi for this level and not at all times is because the third and final star coin was actually hidden down to this green pipe down here. It's a good thing we need to use Yoshi for this particular section, or in this case this particular part, or the alternatively that you can actually use the flying squirrel suit if you actually have it with you. But if you actually reach it to this point here, be sure to actually grab the power block with Yoshi's tongue until you're actually just trying to activate the power block, and then just trying to toss it to this little scaling platform right there, and then hopefully you should able to actually grab yourselves a third and final star coin with ease. So yeah, how about that? Yeah, if I do say so for myself. And then the rest of the level at the end is basically we have to hop onto these giant water Kaisers, including these bunch of Cheep Cheeps hopping out every once in a while. But no, we actually completed that. It's a shame that we can't bring Yoshi from the entire time, but why do we actually just want to leave him there though? Anyway. Actually, before actually end things off, let's just see these little me first posts right here. Here is a little cutie picture of Yoshi right here, spouting out or trying to actually take his tongue out, and it gets like a somewhat of a heart shape or something like that. So, oh yeah, before we end the play, oh, in this case, frick, sorry for the lack of dialogue, folks. Again, it's just basically, you know, dry throat I have. But even then, I'll get some drink after when I finish this recording session. So. Yeah, basically before we actually end this part, or in this case end this episode off, is by basically we're gonna have to like spend some time to actually deal with these cheap cheeps right here. In fact, we're gonna have to deal with this last one. Hopefully we can get there during time until more likely a few seconds remaining. Hurry up before we actually get ourselves timeout. If you actually get a timeout in these enemy courses, it will actually kick you out, or in this case kick back off from you. So just be careful though. And we got ourselves another Starman. Jesus Christ, man. We got 6 Starman so far. So anyways, we're going to have to end things off here. So next time on Let's Play New Super Mario Bros. U, hopefully we're going to finish it up with Sparkling Waters. So see you guys then. Later, fellas.